Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Nest Betting. Check out their locations in the Bay Area, or you go online, nestbetting.com. Love where you sleep. Use the code Oakland to get 10% off your entire order, your bed, your sheets, pillows, all that great stuff. Go to nestbetting.com. Use the coupon code Oakland. You're in Baltimore. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, we're in Baltimore. I'm in the office. Getting ready to start the day.
You know, when I think about getting back to Baltimore, for so many years, it's been so sleepy and the fans haven't been fired up. It's going to be a whole different atmosphere. It's a great baseball city. What do you think it's going to be like the next 3 days?
I think the energy will be great. Like you said, this team's, in the wild card race. They're playing really good baseball, and the city is behind them. And the crowd should be really electric for the next 3 games, which is exciting for us, exciting for our ball club as well.
Yeah, and I think from the standpoint of your club, and maybe you can look back at your career when you were a young player and you got to go to an away stadium and there was that vibe and there was the playoff vibe and things were, as you said, electric. What is that like for these young guys, and what can they learn?
Well, we had that crowd. We had that energy Saturday, Sunday at home with that Yankee series. It was great. So we've been in the environment, but as you said, it's different on the road. But at the same time, I think our guys will feed off it and use that energy. It's always great to be in a situation where you are playing good baseball against good teams and getting a handful of experiences that'll only help you mature and you'll benefit from going forward.
You just can't always look at a box score and say, oh, that's how somebody did. I think Ken Waldichuk yesterday, the fact that he gave up the 5 hits, walked 4, only gave up 1, struck out 6, tells you what kind of stuff this kid has. He was very impressive. Now that you've gotten to see him his first time out there, what's your first impression?
Yeah, big-bodied lefty, a competitor. He got himself in trouble right away and pitched out of it. He gave some hits in the first, kept his composure, kept throwing strikes. He started using his changeup later in the game. So I think we definitely have something to work with here. It's going to be a learning curve, as it is for all of our young guys, and recognizing their strengths and their weaknesses at this level. They're going to be different than what they were in AAA. And, it's our turn to kind of help him grow, help him get better, build off this last start. And as you said, the box score, may not have represented just the true, performance, and that's a good thing. It means we only got somewhere to go from there.
He really hides the baseball well. As a left-handed hitter, how tough is it to see a left-handed pitcher when he's hiding that ball behind him for so long?
Yeah, there's some deception to it, like you're talking about. And, there was only one lefty in the lineup yesterday for him. He did a really nice job against him, the Garcia kid. So, as you talk about, we'll continue to kind of, evaluate him, understand what he does well, what we need to work on. And as you talk about, the deception to the breaking ball, left on left, the changeup, as I mentioned earlier, looks like a plus pitch. So he's got the arsenal. And as you talked about as well, he struck out 6 in 5 innings, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're living moment to moment, day by day, but for A's fans, you start looking at, wow, Ken Waldichuk, you got Sears going tonight. I mean, you got some guys that you look into the future. It's hard not to be excited about some of these young players.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. And, exciting to get a look at these young players for the next 30 plus games. As you talked about Waldichuk, you talked about Sears, Martinez, who's in the rotation now. Langlieres has been here, but also, I think we've I'm not sure what the record is, but in terms of having 17 rookies make their debuts, I'm assuming we're approaching some type of record or have gone
You
through
own
that.
it. You own it.
We're definitely giving guys opportunities. We're getting looks at just about everyone. And, again, we're still here to win baseball games.
Dermis Garcia. Like, I watch him and I say, I want to see him play every day. This kid is big kid, swings with bad intentions. He's hit in the past, and he's still young at 24 years old. What's your scouting report on your first baseman?
Yeah. As you talk about, he's 24. He's grinded through, 6 full seasons in the minor leagues with the Yankees. I think this was a great 6-year free agent pickup for us. And we're getting a good look at him right now. He's starting to, play regularly, and the home run he hit in. Oh, help me out here. Where were we yesterday?
DC.
Yeah, so the home run he hit there.
There's only 31 left, Kotz. We only got to get to 31 more.
Second longest homer in the stadium. So he's got the power. It's going to be whether or not he can reduce the strikeouts, and that's something that we're going to have to evaluate and help with.
Yeah, that seems to be something with so many of these young guys. It's so different from like your generation. I mean, it's even with Langoliers. Langoliers, he's so exciting. He's dynamic. And I mean, my God, yesterday, home run, double, but yet there's still a lot of strikeouts. I mean, it's what do you guys do from a hitting standpoint to try and limit that? Because isn't that also kind of a mindset?
It can be a mindset. It can be, a willingness to sacrifice something. If you're sacrificing maybe the pull side when you get 2 strikes deeper in the count, you're sacrificing the fastball and trying to stay on the breaking ball. So there is a certain aspect to the mindset and the mentality. For Shea, he's getting pitched differently than maybe he was, in his first 25 at bats. The league makes adjustments pretty quickly. Same with Dermis. We saw a lot of spin yesterday down below the zone. So it's his turn to make that adjustment. And, the other aspect of all of this is that strikeouts are viewed as okay now. Most guys have between a 22 to 30% strikeout rate that slug a little bit. And these 2 young players we're talking about slug. So they're going to have their moments they go through. And we have to just be patient with them and continue to help them grow in their mindset and in their approach.
Just take us back, because it wasn't that long ago. If Mark Kotsay struck out 3 times in a game, how were you feeling?
I snapped my bat, my helmet, probably broke something in the bat rack. There you go. You wanted that one, didn't you, Tony? He set it up. Yeah.
Oh, Bip Roberts. I mean, think about that. When we were growing up, those Padre teams, when you got like Tony Gwynn, Roberto Alomar, Bip Roberts was like, if you struck out 3 times in a game, people are looking at you like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I say times have changed. An out is an out. That's how it's kind of viewed now. And if you've got power, I think the give and take is, do you want a slow base runner at first base because he, put a ball in play, or do you want him to kind of continue with the mindset to drive the baseball out of the ballpark? So there's a balance to it for sure. And I think that's where, the good teams, if you're looking at the division leaders and the Dodgers and Yankees and, Cleveland's an exception. Cleveland doesn't slug a ton. They put the ball in play and they collect their hits. Jose Ramirez is the exception in that lineup, but he still doesn't. I don't think his strikeout rate's that high either. So that's a team that utilizes putting the ball in play, and they're ahead in their division.
We got an interesting dance here in the final month, because back in the day, you're able to call up a bazillion relievers, and then you're gonna, if your bullpen was a little taxed, it's okay. You got all these guys coming up from AAA. You don't have that anymore. Obviously, starters, relievers, Are you going to try and maybe get a little more out of your starters to help these relievers out? I mean, how do you think this is going to work the last month? Because there's still, like I said, 31 games left, some tired guys, and you don't have a bazillion arms coming up from AAA.
Yeah, I mean, we still can use, the option for players that have options left. I think that's why you have, the minor leagues continuing their season. AAA doesn't end until I think September 18th, in or around that date. And so that gives us, an opportunity still to, if we need to swap somebody out, if we need to get a fresh arm, we can do that. Whereas, like you talked about in the past, with the 40-man call-ups being unlimited, you could stock the bullpen and not worry about, wearing guys down. But we're trying to balance that. Obviously, we've got two, of our relievers that were high leverage guys on the IL, Danny Jimenez and Zach Jackson. So, we're evaluating guys that have thrown a bit. Yesterday was a game where Domingo Acevedo needed some time off, and we couldn't use him in that role yesterday. But I think, going forward, we also have to figure out whether these other younger guys can step in and pitch in those leverage situations.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you look at a full season for AJ Puck. It's been one of the good stories. I've been saying on the postgame show a ton. I got to not even look at the numbers. The fact that he stayed healthy the entire season has been the success story. When you look at your big left-hander, how do you evaluate his year?
I think it's been great. We've brought him along, like you talked about. We've built his confidence up. He's in the back end of the bullpen now, where if you ask that question in spring training, where would you see AJ Puck? I don't think anyone in this organization believed that he could be closing games by the end of the season, and he's shown that he can do that. And have success with it. So not only has he been healthy, like you talked about, we found, I think, some an area where AJ can have success and success hopefully for long term.
Let's end on this. It's really starting to become a special ride for Stephen Vogt here, as we think we don't know that maybe this might be it for his career. It's been a fantastic career. I mean, no one would have thought when Billy Beane basically bought him from Tampa that he'd be a two-time All-Star, that he'd be a World Series champion. And there's definitely this view that he could be a manager someday. What has this ride been like for you? Because I know you care so much about him. What's it been like?
It's been amazing. Truly blessed to have him in this locker room amongst this group. Also, just thrilled to be able to give him some opportunity in this last month to get on the field, to take these at bats, and that home run he hit Saturday against the Yankees to tie the game. That'll stick in my mind for the rest of my managerial career. It's a special moment. Hopefully we get him another opportunity to do the same before the end of the season. And as you said, he hasn't walked in this office and told me that he's taken off the jersey, but if this year is his last and he makes that decision before the end of the season, it'd be a special day, that last day of the season, to put him behind the plate and give him his farewell for sure.
Would you be shocked if he's on your staff one day?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't know what direction he wants to go. I do know he wants to coach, but I don't know how quickly he wants to get into it. I know personally myself, I jumped right in and have enjoyed the ride. But Steven's got 3 young children, beautiful family. There may be opportunity for him to make impact or be there with them. But, he's a baseball guy. So this is what he knows and this is what he loves. And I don't expect him to be away from the game for very long.
I'm betting on media. Watch, he's going to end up in TV.
I think you're right. I think he'll do some form of an ambassador role and jump in on the media side. I agree.
Did you ever think about that?
I don't look as good as you, so I don't think media really looks at
You could have that Golden Spikes Award behind you. I mean, you could be looking good on TV.
I appreciate it, brother. All right.
Take care. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.